Hello and welcome to Cable Plus Property, your #1 online educative platform on all issues related to land and landed properties. My name is Oiza. At Cable Plus Property, our aim is to ensure that all Nigerians and non-Nigerians have at the tip of their finger every information related to land acquisition, land procurement, building construction, planning, registration and documentation of land and landed properties. We provide you with everything you need to know about getting your properties registered and obtaining your planning permit. Land surveying is one of the most important professions in the built environment. It's only with surveying you're able to know where your land is located, what the shape of your land is, and the size of your land. In fact, you could say that without surveying, no profession in the built environment can work accurately. And that is why in this video, I'll be speaking with a retired permanent secretary and Surveyor General of the Lagos State Government. He's also a barrister of law and a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Surveyors. Join me as I speak with Barrister Olatunbosun David Oluremi. This is Cable Plus Property. Surveyor Barrister Olatunbosun David Oluremi was born on the 6th of July 1952 into the family of late Jacob Oladele Olatunbosun in Ibadan. He attended his elementary primary school at St. James Primary School and went further for his secondary school in Ibadan from 1965 to 1969. He taught briefly as untrained and uncertified teacher between 1970 to 1973, after which he also attended St. Andrew's College, a training college in Oyo State from 1973 to 1975. He passed 3 advanced level papers in January 1977 all at once. He was admitted to read BSc in Geography at the University of Ibadan between 1977 and 1980, and he went further for his National Youth Service Corps in Kano State from 1980 to 1981. Barrister Olatunbosun started his professional career as a pupil surveyor on the 10th of August 1981. He was at Federal Surveying School, Oyo State, with full scholarship from 1982 to 1984, leading to an award of Professional Diploma in Surveying. He became a registered surveyor in 1991 and later became a fellow in the Nigerian Institution of Surveyors in 2011. Because of his thirst for knowledge and his quest for legal knowledge, to satisfy his demand for input of surveyors in civil litigation, he went to pursue a law program at the University of Lagos from 1997 to 2003. He also attended the Nigerian Law School from 2005 to 2006, and he was also called to Nigerian Bar in May 2007 as solicitor and advocate of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. His experience started with secondments to Federal Service Gang from 1981 to 1982, carrying out the then Lagos State/Western States boundary demarcation, with demarcating the then colony province boundary from Odiomi town to Sitogbe-Tome Seme-Border in Badagry division from former Western State under the leadership of late Surveyor A. Martin, with our operational base at Agbowa town. His experience in the Lagos State Civil Service cuts across many ministries, departments, and agencies dealing with land-related issues involving surveying professional practice, like the Ministry of Justice in Lagos State, the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development, Lands Bureau, Ministry of Works and Housing. He has been in the arena of surveying practices for over 37 years, with specialty in overall planning, coordination, supervisory and training, coupled with professional expertise, and he exhibited integrity in the course of his professional practice. He was appointed to the prestige office of the Surveyor General of Lagos State in 2008 and later became the Surveyor General and Permanent Secretary of Lagos State Government. His hobbies and non-professional interests include jogging, soccer, music, motoring, and traveling. He has several awards to his name, some of which are the Long Service Award, the Diligence Award, the Integrity Award, Certificate of Recognition as one of the outstanding professional surveyors in Nigeria by Construction and Engineering Digest in July 2014. Join me as I speak with Surveyor Barrister Olatunbosun David Oluremi. I can see, sir, that you have a lot of stories to tell about the surveying profession and wealth of experience as well. So that leads me to the question, who is a land surveyor? What do land surveyors do?
According to statute, that is according to law, a surveyor is a person registered to practice survey by Surveyor Regional Council of Nigeria. But it's extended that any officer of survey department is also recognized as a surveyor, because whatever he's doing it for and on behalf of the state government, and the head of the survey in any state is the Surveyor General. So anybody that is outside that scope is not recognized as a surveyor.
If you are not registered.
If you are not registered, you are not a surveyor. If you are not an officer of survey department, you are not a surveyor.
So what are their duties?
Surveying is a collective responsibility. A single person cannot carry it, survey work. You have to get some assistance with you. Under that assistant, we have people that are knowledgeable as high as HND, OND. And we have some survey assistants that are ordinary school sats. They assist us in clearing the way in those days. Because you have to clear the right of way between one point to the other. There must be interfeasibility. There should be no obstruction between 2 points. You do your survey right. But now, science has taken that away. I will explain on that when we get there. That you don't need to cut any line or cut. Even you can stay in your office and do your survey through satellite imagery.
Really?
Yeah.
Without having to be on site? Wow, that's interesting. So what is a survey plan and how does it look? Would like if you can show the viewers a survey plan.
A survey plan is a plan that shows the specific point, the exact point acquired either by a person, private organization, or government. See, a survey plan contains so many parameters. One, it must get a title. Two, it must get a zone. That is this zone 30 or zone 31, the UTM which you are using today. Two, it must get the origin. Four, it must get an area. Five, it must get the coordinates, which shows the exact point. Eastings, where eastings and northings cross, that's the coordinate point. Then it must get the what we call angle and distance. That is, if you move from this point, one angle to another, it must follow a specific distance and bearing, which are obtained on the field. Then the person who did the survey has to ascertain his name there, that is a qualified person. The date of ascertainment must be inserted, because surveys speak after the author, after the producer. Even if one is dead, once they take it, it's not supposed to use this phone, this survey, that's very good. The members of public and your colleagues, they know the integrity of each of the surveyors. Because there are surveyors and there are also surveyors. But I thank God that I belong to one of the surveyors that practice ethically.
Yeah, yes. What are coordinates on a survey plan? You mentioned that, and what are its importance?
Coordinates. That is the specific point. When it is written on your survey plan, and you want to re-establish that point, imagine your beacon was either intentionally or unintentionally removed, and you want to re-establish, you use this coordinates. It is a mathematical calculation. It must be strict, specific, and concise. What I mean by concise is that when they say this is the point and you put the figures there, come 10, 20 times, the point must be there. Even if there is a bulldozer that bulldozes all those things, once the coordinate is known, you can easily revert to it. So it's the specific point of any area being surveyed.
What makes it important?
What makes it important is that land is static. You cannot expand it, neither can you contract it. But in practice, within the built environment, there are some distortions. Where the beacon is here, the builder can extend it to the left or to the right to favor his clients. But once the survey is there with coordinates, the surveyor will just go there, put on his instruments, and relocate the appropriate position. These coordinates are the instruments that used to solve a lot of contentions between two parties, or between two communities, or between, it may be interstate, it may be regional, maybe within Nigeria and Nigeria and
Okay. What is the implication of a survey plan with wrong or manipulated coordinates? And is there any punishment for that or sanction for that?
Thank you very much. All those things started just about a few years ago, just around 1995. Before 1995, there was nothing like that. But after 1995, with the introduction of electronic distance measurement into survey, towards 2000, with introduction of computer to survey, people can easily sit down in their office and manipulate figures. Once they get one figure, they can predict what will happen in the other places, and that's what caused shifting of coordinates. What aided shifting of coordinates? But before 95, you have to go to site with your instrument. You have to cut the land for everybody to see. But these days, once they can get one point within that area, they can project other coordinates.
How does this affect the survey plan?
You see, land is real. It's something you see. It's not something you imagine. Once there is deviation from the original, the professional will know something must have happened to this survey. Either as a result of miscalculation of instruments, or the instrumentation itself giving wrong answer. Even in survey world, we used to say there is no way two surveyors can survey the same plot of land and get the same answer. But there must be an element of overlapping. The overlapping must not be less than 80%. It's just like my two arms. Mr. A did this, Mr. B did this. It must come like this. But there can be shift as a result of quality instruments being used. Because survey develops year in, year out. And that is what is causing commotion now. In those days, we used gunter chain, big chain. After that, you do what we call the linear correction. Before you can say exactly that this place to this place is so meters. You have to correct it. Then you have to bring your chain to the Office of the General for standardization. All those things
Have gone.
have gone. Why? Because science had invented what we call geographic positioning system, which is just your assets, like your assets. Once you get there and you press it, it will give you the rough coordinates. You move around, because landed properties are always in 4 corners. Once you move around A, B, C, D, you leave your coordinates. Then you draw your plan, survey plan out. But that GPS is not 100% correct. Though we have so many GPS being used, but there are so many sophisticated electronic distance measurement now. We call them EDM in short. As a result of advancement in technology in Nigeria, in 1988, there was introduction of what we call LIRS, introduced by Canada. Ontins, the name of the company is Ontins from Canada. Introduced what we call Land Information Related System. This one, you go into the plane, you photograph all that cover either a local government and local government, then you cover a state. Then after downloading it, you produce what we call topography. This topography will show, will give you all the coordinates, all the houses, all the roads, all the electric pole, all features that lies within that area. So with that, emphasis on land survey is wearing away. You can go to your topographical map and scale out any land you want.
If a surveyor is caught with wrong or manipulated coordinates, is it punishable under the law?
We have what we call 3 committees we handle this matter. 1, the ethics committee. The ethics committee always ensure that surveyors practice ethically. I've defined who are surveyors to you. There are some other ones that are survey assistants, acting as surveyors. But they perpetuated their problem through a registered surveyor. If they are caught, they'll be sent to ethics committee. Surveyors ethics committee, established by Surveyor Registration Council. It will be tried at the state, and then whatever they get, we send it to the National Committee of Surveyor Registration Council of Nigeria. And at times, it may lead to withdrawal of their registration or suspension for 6 months or more. Because I was once a chairman of that National Committee in Abuja for about 4 years. Secondly, we have, in each of the states, we have Nigerian Institution of Surveyor, Lagos State branch. They will invite the 2 parties, and at the same time trying to find out what really happened. The Nigerian Institution of Surveyor can set out a neutral surveyor to go and survey that land, whether the allegation is true or not. After establishing this, it will be sent to Surveyor Council, the National Committee in Abuja.
So these three bodies determine what would happen to such a surveyor.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on, sir, what is the importance of having a survey plan on one's property?
Thank you very much. All along I've been trying to answer that question. The most important thing is to procure your land. After getting your land, you'll be showing all the four corners of your property. That property cannot be taken into a bag and carried to either Office of Surveyor General or physical planning for registration. So you need an instrument which will represent the futures on the land. What are the futures that are supposed to be represented? The coordinates, the bearings and distance. That if you move from here to here by 10 meters, you enter to another man's land. If you move here to here by 15 meters, you are already in another person's land. It will show the real configuration of your property. And that is why it's very, very essential for any surveyor to draw or produce what he found on the ground, not to manipulate. Once you manipulate, it must affect either your neighbor on the left or right. This is what we call geographical contingencies. If you shift to this, you affect the man on the right. If you shift back, you affect the man at your back. So it must be precise. There's no two way about it. It's either you do the precise survey or you do a wrong survey. But the land still remain static. You cannot expand it, you cannot extend it, you cannot contract it.
Can a survey plan be used as title document on a piece of land?
There have been laws that have been established before now. There's a survey act before independence become Cap 194 that any landed properties to be acquired, to be developed, to be transferred, or to be given as a gift must contain the survey instruments. That is, the survey must be carried out, ascertained by a registered surveyor that this is the real survey. Imagine you are my daughter, I want to give you a land now. I must do that survey on your name and give to you. That's the beginning of the beginning. Because survey is the bedrock of all other meaningful developments. Once you don't have any survey, what you have is just title land. What I mean by that is that you just hold it for who owns that land? Is the Mrs. A? Who owns that land? Is Mr. A? How do you show it's your own land? What conferred the title and everything onto you? It's your survey.
Okay. Who is a survey technician? Are they recognized as surveyors? And how does the public identify them?
I've told you earlier that survey is a combination of several arms. That is, there's no way a single surveyor can survey land without having an assistance on the field. We have what we call the cartographers in those days. When you plot with the pencil, they are the one that will ink it and show all the configuration. We have, because surveys are an extensive profession, and God Himself is the first surveyor because He created heaven and earth. So He has demarcated water from land body, And that's why we said land comprises of land itself, water, air, and the sky. And that's why the surveyor can operate on all those areas. The land surveyors are the surveyors that measure land from one point to another. The surveyors that measure water are called hydrographers. And then we have air survey, which we call area surveyors. Their job is to take their plane to the air and take pictures of what is happening, and then relate them to what is on ground. So that's why I said, when you say surveying, it's a very large component. It operates on land, water, air.
So where do survey technicians fit in? That's if they fit in at all.
I told you earlier that they assist the surveyors on the field.
Okay. So are they recognized? Are they supposed to be practicing?
Ideally, they are not supposed to be practicing. But several years ago, we have shortage of surveyors. In the whole country, we have less than 200 to cover the whole nation of occupied by about almost 200 million people. So scarcity of surveyor leads to them
Practicing.
when you take them to field today, tomorrow, they are seeing you, they saw what you are doing, then they try to develop an instinct. But most of them are not intellectually sound. What I mean by intellectually sound is that to be a surveyor, you have to be knowledgeable in geography, physics, mathematics. And now with the introduction of computer science, with computer science and chemistry. So if you see all these 5 subjects, it's only ardent mind that can pass those subjects at once or twice.
So does the fact
So most of them ran away from school.
Okay.
They could not. Let me quickly point out. In 1989, another law was made in Nigeria. And that's for the establishment of Surveyor Registration Council of Nigeria, so-called. Only people that were qualified 5 years earlier were registered as surveyors. The so-called survey assistant, they could not be part of it because they don't have all the necessary training and certificates. But some of them that were so clever, they quickly went back to school because they have been on the job for a very long time and they cannot do any other job. So they went back, started from OND, HND, then go to PGD, either Yaba or Unilag or Yo, and they passed the preliminary examinations and they were registered as surveyors. So from 200 in those years, it's now for about 2,000 now. And that's why there's less pressure on the survey job. Most of those survey assistants had acquired the necessary knowledge and they now become surveyors. But some still remain what they are. So those people are still there. They are not recognized to practice.
So what is the Nigerian Institution of Surveyors doing about them?
They are not a member of our institution.
The ones that practice as surveyors when they ought not to?
They are not members of our institution. Legally, we cannot prosecute them. They are not members.
But they are tainting the image of the institution, of the
when
profession.
they are caught, they are dealt with accordingly. We take them to, some of them have been jailed in Lagos here and Lagos State. Some have been banned not to step on the soil of the state
Anymore.
to practice as a surveyor. And once they caught, they'll be jailed. Strict measures are being taken to reduce their impact. Because before that 1989 registration of the Surveyor Council, it was the dog that It was the tail that was wagging the dog, not the dog wagging the tail. Can I explain that?
Yes.
You know you have a dog. It's the dog that wags his tail when the dog sees the owner or a friend to the owner. He wags his tail. But when the tail is now wagging the dog, that's an unexpected situation. It was this so-called survey assistant that will go to the baales, that will go to the obas, hold meetings with the community, do this the quackery survey job, and give it to another surveyors to sign. So as a result of the new law, it overturned those tendencies. And there was a possibility that give your job to a registered surveyor, not to a quack surveyor. However, there was an argument that are they quack or survey assistant or unregistered surveyor? The three are synonymous. Once they are unregistered, they are not supposed to practice service. If you are a survey assistant, you assist your surveyor. Nothing bars you from becoming a surveyor. Nothing bars any survey assistant to become a registered surveyor.
Okay. Many Nigerians, including the educated, refer to the record copy of the survey as red copy. Can you explain this to the audience?
Yeah, there's nothing like red copy. That red is just acrimony to record copy. You know, for ordinary man on the streets, they found this study record to call it record copy. And I said, okay, red copy. That's how everybody buy that red copy. There's nothing like red copy. We have record copy, which is usually stored in the Office of Surveyor General. All the survey acts, the previous ones and the current one, said any survey done in any state, the record copy of that survey must be lodged with the record department of the Office of the Surveyor General. Why are they lodging it? The one that is in the record of Surveyor General, you cannot tamper with it. You cannot manipulate any figure because you don't have right to go into that record to go and change anything. But with the man that did the survey earlier, he has his own what we call black copy. It's always in black. You can take out the copy, change the title. If you buy land from me now, and I want survey to reflect your name, he has the right to change the title. And once he changed that title, within 30 days, he must withdraw the other red copy and take in the new record copy. He will write a letter to that effect. And once the letter is approved, the other copy will be withdrawn and the current record copy will be. And now we thank God with development of science. Once the record copy is submitted now, they are electronically stored, which no one can tamper with it. And it's helping our courts now in determining what we call civil litigations. If there is a contention between me and you, my surveyor submitted my red copy electronically, submitted your own record copy electronically. If you go to court, I get the satisfactory copy of mine, you get your own. Then they have the original to compute it.
No,
are they the same or not?
Thank you very much for watching this video. I trust that you have learned a lot about the surveying profession. Make sure you like and share this video with friends, family, and colleagues. Also, click the subscribe button and turn on notification so you can be the first to know when we upload our next video. Also, head on to Instagram, follow us at Cable Plus Property, like our Facebook page at Cable Plus Property. Till we come your way again, my name is Oiza, and this is Cable Plus Property.